Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. I want to talk a little bit about reality. Uh, it's one of these things that uh, I think that's where a lot of fear comes from, is if you don't really know or understand something, it's the unknown. It's not reality. The reality is when it happens. Um, I know right now, uh, people are thinking, well, this shutdown is kind of hard, and uh, it's not. You're missing the reality. This is what I was thinking. Why? What is it that people are missing about this? Uh, when you're sitting at home, when you do as you're told, then that is your reality. I've mentioned that I've been self-employed all my life. And this is why it's hard for a lot of people to understand how I see things. Uh, the thing is, when you're self-employed, you make decisions. Always. You're always making decisions. And these decisions are based on your thinking this is going to happen. It's not a reality yet, but you're thinking this is going to happen. So you do this, and that's like you're investing money, you're changing the way you do things, stuff like that. Uh, and when you do this, the results is the reality. And reality, I've known, it's very seldom does it come out uh, like I expected it to. And same thing with this stay-at-home kind of thing. And oh, it's so hard staying home. So okay, no, you're you're getting ready for the reality, and the reality is uh, there's going to be we have to get this country back going again. You got to get off your ass. You got to get out and work and do things. And right now, you're waiting for somebody to tell you what to do. And when you're waiting to be instructed, you don't have any control over your reality. You're just going to accept whatever kind of reality is going to be coming upon you. And that's another thing when you're self-employed, you're making these decisions. And then the reality turns out not good from what you decided. You make changes. And this is the part that people don't quite understand. And so then they're more apt to believe or listen to incorrect information. And this is one of the things that's been going on here. This whole virus thing started with, well, what if? That's not a reality. That's a what if kind of thing. Now it's been going on long enough where there is data. It is a reality. Now it's a reality. And the reality is not the same as what they projected. And that projection is the same thing when you're self-employed. You do this because you're projecting this business is going to increase, or it's going to be easier, or we want to add another service to what we do, and it doesn't turn out. Well, now you're dealing with the reality of it. And Same thing when I'm doing the Hoi Chi. Um, I don't know. I don't know how many people I work on, and they say, "Well, I'm in good shape." Yeah. The reality that I've seen is no one is in good shape. Uh, they're in good shape for what they've been through, but they're not in good shape. And even me, I mean, I have problems, and and I deal with these problems. That's the reality I deal with, is dealing with my problems, and then but there's always going to be something else and something else. And that's why I have people say, well, you know, you don't have very bad bedside manners. And that's because I'm dealing with reality. When you're laying on the table, I'm dealing with reality. I'm finding points, and these points, they hurt. Well, of course they hurt. The reality is that organ's not right. And the reality is you've been doing something to that organ, or you haven't been doing something good for that organ. Whatever it is, the reality is you got a problem, and it needs to be dealt with before it becomes a medical problem. And but like I say, so reality is a tough bite, and a lot of people refuse to believe the reality. When they see the reality, when they experience the reality, they just refuse to accept it as a reality. And that's now we're, let's see, conspiracy theorists, therapists, theories, well, whatever those people are. Uh, One thing, like I say, I understand big business, big government, all that's all made up of people, and people can project and try to go a certain direction, but the reality doesn't always turn out to be what they're expecting. And then they'll come up with an excuse. Well, this is the reality, and well, it didn't turn out the way it's supposed to because of, you know, I mean, that now they have an excuse for it, and it always turns out with, is it an excuse, or is it something that I did wrong? I can make changes to correct the reality, you know, or you know, and that's what I do. I get people to look at the reality and deal with it. I do the same thing with the hotspot, the personal safety stuff, and all of this stuff has to do with, you have to prepare, and you prepare for just, you know, the best you can do because you haven't been through that reality. And that's why once you've been through the reality, things change. I mean, like I got less stuff. I say the first expo that I went to on preparedness, I said, well, I don't think I'm a prepper because what I see about preppers, they have all this stuff, and I don't have hardly anything. I travel around with a couple of backpacks, and that's about it. And so, and I live like that. And now I got my fancy home. Where is my fancy home? Yeah, I got my fancy home there. So now I got much more stuff, and they said, well, you are a prepper, and because you've been doing it so long, and you don't need all that stuff. That's what goes on with reality. I've dealt with so much reality. I know what to be concerned about and what not to be concerned about. And so I don't have to live in fear. And that's the thing with reality. You'll see reality is not the fear itself. Once reality, you step in reality. It's like stepping in a cow pie. uh, now you've got to take action. And that's the part. You don't have to be in fear of the cow pie. You just have to know what are you going to do after you step in the cow pie. But this is something and that's where fear comes in. Is, like I say, they don't know. And when you're watching movies, you listen to stories and stuff like that, you're trying to form a reality out of that. And it doesn't really do like that. I try to get points. Something I never thought of, or stuff like this. And is this something I need to prepare for, or is that a reality? And we need to think reality. And like I say, I mean, I don't understand how people can blindly follow and think that they have control over their life when they can't even deal with reality. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.